Is Minecraft Legends even good? Let's take a look at it and decide whether this game is worth buying. As soon as you load into the game, you're met with a tutorial with all of the basic controls. You then instantly get to start playing the single-player campaign of the game. This was incredibly scary at first because I haven't really ever played a game like Minecraft Legends. But the first hour of the campaign slowly showed me all of the different mechanics in a way that was actually super fun. I was very worried going into this that the game was going to have way too much information and be impossible to understand, but I understood single-player mode almost instantly. Sadly, I can't say the same for multiplayer, but we'll get into that later. We're going to break this review down into 4 parts: price, graphics, gameplay, and replayability. Let's start first with the graphic. In Minecraft Legends, you get exactly what you would expect. It is Minecraft. Basically, all of the textures have been updated to look better, and they did a great job. You're playing the game from a way different perspective than Minecraft is meant to be played, but it still feels very true to the brand. As you play, you will also notice tons of classic sounds being used. For instance, lava makes the same exact noise in this game as it does in normal Minecraft. Little things like this really make the game feel like it is a Minecraft game. So, for graphics, I'm going to give the game an 8 out of 10. Next, let's talk about gameplay. We're going to look at the single player mode first and then move on to multiplayer. The premise of the game is that you collect resources, create mobs, and then go take out piglin camps. Collecting resources is super easy. You just simply place an item that will collect all of the wood, stone, or whatever other material that is in a certain area. This is also somehow super satisfying. Next, you need to create mobs. This is probably the most important aspect of the game. There are tons of different options that you can choose, and they all do different things. As you progress in the game, you unlock more so it doesn't overwhelm you. This was probably my favorite part of the game so far. I was able to learn in a really fun way with actual meaningful gameplay, and I didn't feel like I was wasting my time. Plenty of games have tutorials that are mind-numbingly boring and are not fun to play, but Minecraft Legends was able to make the starting experience really enjoyable. After you get to a certain point in single player, you will notice you aren't being directed as much, but instead get to decide where on the map you want to go. Your goal is to clear out the map of piglins and keep all of the villages safe. I first was worried that this progression wouldn't be very fulfilling, but with the addition of building and gathering resources, it actually felt pretty good. The world also feels very full and enjoyable to run around it. One of the things Minecraft has always done well is create a world that you can be fully immersed in, and Minecraft Legends stays true to this. Even while running around, I found multiple little power-ups that I was able to use to move faster or jump higher, so even though I was just traveling to a different part of the map, I was still having a great time. Now, for multiplayer. I loaded into my first multiplayer game after completing all of the tutorials and was instantly confused. I wasn't exactly sure how multiplayer worked, and I was expecting another similar tutorial like I had earlier, but I was wrong. I got thrown right into a game that was already halfway through. I spawned in and instantly died to opponents that were already in my base. I spawned again and they were gone, but I realized my entire base was already built, and I had no idea what anything was. I'm sure that this isn't the intended multiplayer experience, but if this is how I started my journey, I'm sure many other players have had similar experiences. After running around trying to figure out what was going on, I realized that our goal was to take down the enemy base while simultaneously defending ours. This was a really cool concept, and it felt like a massive game of cat and mouse. If I decided to take all of our minions and lead a massive attack on the enemy base, I had to recognize that this may leave our base weak to an enemy attack, but maybe they wouldn't even notice, and then I could take down the whole enemy team. There are just infinite situations like this that are really cool to think through and make you have to strategize to outsmart your opponent. Even after playing for a while, I still wasn't 100% sure what was going on a lot of the time. I'm going to assume that this is just because of a lack of my own understanding. I think that if I really went in and spent the time to play a few more hours, I could start to get the hang of it, but quite frankly, I just don't want to. The single player mode has been so fun that I feel great just playing in that mode. And the final gameplay aspect to touch on is the story. The story in this game is brilliant. If you didn't know, Minecraft has made entire story games that have made it to Netflix. I'm not sure if anyone from that team worked on Minecraft Legends specifically, but it really seems like they did. I don't usually like watching the cinematics in a game, and I don't usually enjoy a game's story that much either, but Minecraft Legends had me locked in. There are so many funny little moments, and overall the story is just great. So the final rating that I'm going to give the gameplay is a 7 out of 10. This would be a couple points higher if I didn't have such a negative first experience with the multiplayer mode. Our next category is replayability. By this, I'm talking about things like how likely am I to keep playing the game in a month or two? And to be honest, it's not looking great. After I beat the game's story, I probably won't be hopping on all that often. The developers definitely realized that this is a problem that the game would run into, so they added a mode called Lost Legends. This is a different story that rotates every month. This first month is specified as being free, which makes me think that the next months may require you to pay. I like this concept a lot. I'm just not sure if this will be enticing enough to keep players coming back and playing. If this mode costs extra money on top of the base game, then I'm also certain that it will not be worth it. Overall, the game doesn't have a ton of replayability unless you have some friends to hop on and mess around with. So for replayability, I'm going to give Minecraft Legends a 3 out of 10. And finally, we need to talk about the price. The base game of Minecraft Legends costs $40 US. This is close to double what normal Minecraft costs. It's not an insane price tag, but for the amount of content, I'm not sure I can say it's worth it. If the Lost Legends packs cost more money every month, then I would instantly give the price a 1 out of 10. But that isn't confirmed at the time of this recording, so I'm gonna just assume that they're free. And the only other cost in Minecraft Legends is cosmetics, which I personally don't find all that cool, but they aren't required to buy at all, so that's fine by me. Sitting at $40, Minecraft Legends isn't as expensive as your average AAA title, but it also doesn't have nearly as much content as a AAA title. Overall, for the price, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Again, I want to emphasize that if the Lost Legends packs start costing money, this would instantly drop this to a 1 out of 10. Overall, this puts my final rating of Minecraft Legends at a 5.5 out of 10, and I think that's about where I sit with it right now. I really enjoy the gameplay and the story, but it's just not a game that will become a staple of my library. If you've already played the game, let me know if you agree with me down below, and if you haven't, let me know if you plan on getting it. And with that, thank you for watching to the end of this controller video.